Right, ladies and gentlemen, I give you my Quiver. Now, it does have a bunch of features. Some of them wouldn't necessarily be something you'd think of. So here's a portable filter. This is of a sort where you plug into your water source in the bottom through a tube. Hint, hint, wink, wink. And then you have a filter to drink out of, a removable cap, and then under that, a drinking spigot. It filters the water, and this is a great survival filter, guys. But it plugs into a water source. Now, you don't need a pump or anything. You just suck on it, and it brings water in, and you can drink it through it like a straw. It's pretty cool. So I want to have this on this somewhere, and well, I have lots of room to mount. So this will be on here somewhere, and I can just grab it and drink from it. But it's really going to be on this guy. Now, this is part of my survival here. Hey, enough! Apparently, our dogs are idiots and like to fight each other, which is a problem because they're puppies and they're brothers and they're just retards and they're loud. Anyway, you need a good camel pack. They are really handy, and this is a good setup for securing a camel pack to it. Not so much. I actually have another setup for that. You can, absolutely. It's a very small backpack and will actually work. I can make these two work very well together. It holds water. I highly recommend one of these, but if you don't have one, you can use this when it rains. Now, I have incorporated this into the design so that it's basically a camel pack. The problem is, if you're going to have arrows in it, you're not going to want to use it to catch water. We're talking a life and death emergency kind of situation. But in that situation where you might be camping and you might want to use it to collect water, but you might also want to go hunting and have arrows in it, which is my suspicion, I would basically take the arrows, put them in the tent, put this outside when it's raining, let it fill with water. On the bottom, brings us to our next feature. We got some feet here on little bungees, and underneath each of those is a drainage tap. Now inside, as you guys saw in previous videos, each one of these is a spigot that runs into a collector cup. The collector cup also collects arrows, which is really handy. But every one of those is the three main collector cups, the three at the front. The two at the back are actually the drainage for the quiver itself. It's double and triple glued as much as I can. These are actually pretty strong. This foam is pretty strong, but I'm not done. I actually have a treatment I'm going to give this later that'll make it even stronger. So since the last video, I just wanted to show you guys some stuff that's been done. So the spigots have been reinforced, and they've got their leashes now with their little feet, which is really handy when you don't want to lose any rainwater. So what I'll do is I'll incorporate a second bungee on each one. And what you want is one is loose, but not quite. I'm actually going to rig them up so that they're under the same tension. I left extra on every one, and it'll be on the other side and run down to here. And that way they're on a double bungee, and it's just tight enough to hold them in place. I used a body reamer to do that. And then once I finished drilling out my holes and diametering them, I just filled in the tip of them with glue gun glue so that they are still going to be waterproof. So there's that. I also double reinforced this with more glue and then rocked it in with some good quality duct tape. So that covers that stuff. And you might think that would be everything. I mean, come on, guy. What else is there, right? Even without the caps, it quite comfortably sits on its feet. And that was interesting. I took all the caps off. This one actually put itself back on. But they're great. They work as good as feet so that when you're inside and you put it on, say, a hardwood floor, it works really well. Now, I want to rock on to the next piece, which is this. Now, when I directed you to leave a space here and here, you probably weren't really sure why I would do that. But in my design, I had plans for both of those spots for things that can be here. So one of those is I need a spot for wiring loom to run. And you might say, well, man, why would you want water and electricity, especially in the same box, you moron? And I'll say, because I'm a dick like that. and I enjoy suffering. So, because I enjoy suffering, I am going to push this to the next step because I actually have a pretty sick plan for this that I saw in my head right away. I have a solar panel set up, I have batteries, I have charge circuitry, I have absolutely everything I need, and I'm going to show you in one compact piece how easy that is to make. So, this is a vaporizer. Now, I have others around here, some of them better than others, and with a digital display. Watch this stuff. Okay? So it tells me all kinds of information here. It gives me battery life. There's a nice little package here. Now, this battery is actually strong enough to charge a cell phone. I don't know if you knew that. And since I can have it set up to a solar panel, I could basically rig up a nice little setup. Now, I'm not going to sacrifice this guy. I'm going to sacrifice one of these guys, but I'm not sure where it is right now, but I have another one that has a digital display on it that tells me the battery gauge. I'm going to use that one, and I'm going to incorporate it into here. In addition, I have a small solar panel setup that's perfect to fit this top. Now, one of the reasons you may have wondered why I would build a system here that would hold this down and out of the way. Well, I actually want to put a solar panel inside here and another one on top. And that way, you might think, no, I'm just going to put one on top. The idea is, though, I can have the solar panel sitting like this. Told you I was a dick. And just have this hold it down. So this is kind of proved to be handy. It does actually reach when I pull the whole thing out, but it is being held in place by the strap right now. Normally, it sits right down here, which is actually really convenient because when the sun is on your back, you have a solar panel. Now, that's the other part of this. If I have more money, I would like to take a flexible solar panel and put it right here. Now, between the two, I have enough power to charge my cell phone and to charge 2 battery packs. One up top that just is a light battery that uses one of these guys that'll charge up my cell phone. The other one off the flexible solar panel will actually produce power to run other things, and it's going to power a more significant battery that will power my nighttime light system, and a bigger battery that will charge. Basically, the system is pretty straightforward. So I wanted to show you my solar panel setup because you might think, well, you don't have that, but I actually have awesome roommates, and I do have a solar panel setup here. So when you really get down to it, guys, everything you do DIY, and look at this, it's even on a clip for us. Isn't that convenient? Now check that out. Now I do have a nice little solar panel setup here. As you can see, it's got 3 panels. It folds out. Not only that, it comes with a rather large power bank. That's 20,000 mAh sitting in the back of this. So let's pull that out and I'll show you that. Now this is one that I wouldn't want to carry here. I'd want to carry in my backpack. But this is what I'm talking about. Now this sucker makes some strength. It's quite good. And it came with this solar panel setup. Now it's charged up and is good at holding a charge. It's got a little indicator so you can see your charge level. I could build this whole setup into that if I wanted to. I've just rocked on the task of reinforcing all this. I didn't want it held on just with Velcro, so I added a bunch of glue gun glue just in these areas here. And I mean, look at that. Doesn't that look so much better? Now, I do have one piece that I want to add here to the backside, but it's only for trim. The other side is Velcro, and I don't want to cover that. So, this is going to be it for this video, guys. We're already getting it to 10 minutes, but the other thing to mention with this solar panel setup is this isn't very bulky, guys. I mean, if I really wanted to, I could just tuck it in here, make a setup to hold it, or rock it onto the side. But the power bank port, I wouldn't actually want to put that in here, and the reason is it's heavy. That battery, don't put it in here because you don't want all that weight. Now this is a guitar strap. The strap itself will take that. It's meant to sling a heavy guitar. You won't have any problem with that. All I'm going to say is I've got to attach this, and I have a smaller solar panel that goes on top, a flexible setup, and this will be with me. So let's cover some other stuff. Now, I did show you that I've got some Velcro on my setup. One of the reasons that I really like to rock some Velcro is because I have some decent gear. And some of that can be made to work just like this, where I have Velcro here and here. I have two lips that are hard plastic, and it's enough that I can just, I'll form fit those so that it can hang out here, and then I can just rip it off. This is an option a lot of people might do, and it's one I'm going to recommend because in here I just have a basic first aid kit, guys. It's military grade, but it is just a basic first aid kit. Now, in the front of this, I have some other stuff, and you might think when I show you this that, oh, well, what a sissy. But no, this is actually a handy little guy. This is a focusing mirror. It has a mirror on both sides. It's not your typical survival mirror, and you can use this to catch sunlight and start fires very efficiently. Now we're going to move into the next section. Decent compass, flips open, decent mirror inside. Nothing special. This is all stuff I really like to have. So there's also some other stuff. Striker, another way to make fire. I like to have more than one. Water filter and rain catcher, more than one way to get fresh water. Even nasty water, I can get fresh water, including salt. I've got multiple first aid kits that I can Velcro on to hold all my maps and pouches and whatever else I might need, and basically make this into a backpack if I want to. I also like to keep other things around handy in my little bit of survival kit. A little bit of bungee if I want to tie something on. A little bit of good paracord. A shoelace, that kind of stuff. This one's not actually bungee, guys. Oh, yes, it is. But the black one is not. That's solid. And I've wax treated it so that it lasts. I've got all kinds of stuff. Now, this was a bowstring that broke while I was treating it, but you can see the wax treatment that I've done to this. And I did a good job. It's nice and smooth and evenly coated, and I'm kind of pissed about it because it was perfect. It was an awesome bowstring. It was working great for me. It was made out of some very hard stuff that I didn't have very much of. But you can make a bowstring out of anything. Now, this is paracord. This is actually a sexy looking paracord. I like that. And I'm actually going to pilfer that right off of here, guys. Now, this is a discarded tent. And you can just look at how many clips and attachments and all kinds of things that I'm about to take off of that. Also, it's a fly, which means I'm actually not. It's one of the things I want with this as an emergency survival thing. So instead of cutting this up, I would keep it and take it with me. I actually highly recommend that. And because of where this sits, if you stuff something in the back at the bottom that's soft like this, it actually just pushes the quiver out a little bit away from your back, which only leans the arrows over your shoulder. It's really nice, actually. So those are all things I can recommend. You know, an emergency whistle in case a deer tries to rape you. Some basic stuff. But that's enough for this video. I just wanted to show you guys what my plans are for this and where it's at right now. I'm not finished yet. I still have a bunch more stuff I want to install and incorporate and make happen. When I'm done, it'll have a lighting system built in so that I can put a light over my shoulder, kind of like this guy right here, so that I can direct a light over my shoulder for hunting. I also have a headlamp set up, and it's rechargeable, which means this is recharging that too. It's one of the reasons I want multiple batteries. One, so for a backup, that holds a lot of battery power, that is good and reliable, that I can just charge up if it's raining for 2 or 3 days. That big power bank will actually last me that amount of time without any trouble at all. In the end, I'm also going to paint this. It's a crack in the wood. Get it? So when I'm done, it'll look like a crack in the wood, um, on a wood grain background with black. I have a black and red bow, a black and red piece. I'm actually seriously thinking about taking this piece of paracord though and making a black and white string. In fact, I'm going to, but I want to keep this just in case I need it. The flies are good to have. There's a couple more here we don't need, so I keep finding tents, and they're really great for materials, especially if you wanted to make a sail or something like that. These are great for making sails out of. For survival, can't go wrong with a tent fly, man. There's so many uses there, so much stuff that's incorporated into it that you can use that are really handy. That's it for this one, guys. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you for the next round. Keith out.